I'm here with three-time NFR qualifier Brett Beach. You got a unique family situation in the rodeo atmosphere. Tell everybody about how you're kin to all the famous people in rodeo.
Well, Clay O'Brien Cooper is my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Charles Pope's my brother-in-law. So as far as the roping world goes, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to these guys.
Well, and now the way that all goes together is Brett's married to Charles's wife's sister. Brett and Charles married sisters. Clay Cooper, his first wife Beth, is Brett's sister, was Brett's sister. So that's how that whole deal goes together there, just to fit the pieces together for those of you that don't know.
Right.
Now, you made the NFR the first 2 years with Clay Cooper.
Clay Head, yeah.
And then
I went one season.
And who was that with?
A friend of mine from Arizona, his name was Tommy Cox.
Tommy Cox.
That was when you could still take somebody to the finals,
Oh, yeah.
And so I took old Tommy with me.
You bet.
We had a large time. We didn't win a lot, but we had a lot of fun.
Oh, well, it's about having fun too. So now, tell us about, after your rodeo adventures, once you got through rodeoing, what have you done through the rest of your life, and then what are you doing now?
I've been in the real estate business for probably 12 or 15 years now. I actually wound up living in Vegas, and then when both my boys was born there, I decided I didn't want to raise them there, so I wound up in Texas, and I got in the real estate business. And my kids never roped, never showed any interest, period, till they was actually they were seniors in high school.
Right.
And so all of a sudden one day they got up, and I mean they had every opportunity to do it, but they just played sports, hunted, fished, and played sports, and they decided one day they was going to rope. And I went from one old horse and my heel horse to 8 horses in the arena and cattle.
That's the American dream.
That's it right there. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Well, good. So real estate has been the way you've made a living forever, and then now all of a sudden you've gotten into a team roping adventure. Tell us a little bit about your team roping adventure.
Well, I've always, as you know, I've always done schools. I've always taught a lot, and I've never totally got away from roping. I just didn't do it as much. And when I kind of got started roping again and doing a few schools, I seen like a huge need, because there's so many team ropers now, or it didn't used to be that way. And I mean, there's who knows how many. I mean, they say 100, 150,000, but actually I think there's more than that actually do it. And so, I mean, as you know, you do a lot of schools, but you go to an area and do a school, well, you're there for 2 days or 3 days, then you're gone.
Right.
And so I don't even know why I came up with this idea, but I'd always thought if you could make it available to them all the time.
Right.
And the internet's a big thing at the time. So, and then the other idea I had, I kind of incorporated with that is I don't care how good of a teacher you are, I don't care who you are, people are going to get tired of listening to one person.
Right.
And I noticed that I could tell somebody something, the exact same thing that you did, or Clay did, or whoever, and they might not understand what I said, but you could tell them in a different voice and a different way, and they would understand it. So I thought my concept behind it was put 6 guys on there that we all kind of had the same ideas, and taught the same way, and I'd been around forever.
Right.
And that's how we kind of born into that. We got probably 600 to 800 different videos on, a lot of it's the same subjects, but one time it'll be Clay doing, talking about it, Jake, myself, Charles, Caesar, he's the young gun on the team, he's the kid, and Bobby Harris. So, and we did it just so somebody'd have access to it. We have a TV show, Total Team Roping, TV, and then we also, it's on the internet, and then we also got a phone app design. So, everybody spends all their time on the phone anyway, so you get that and you just hit it and you can pull up any subject you want, and it's basically like, it's like practicing with these guys.
Right.
So, and that's what I seen, and you see it all the time, is you're gonna rope pretty much like who you rope around.
Right.
And so I thought this is the perfect opportunity. People can watch this for 30 minutes or an hour or 10 minutes or whatever, or they can take their phone to the arena. But if you're always seeing somebody, that's how I got better, that's how you got better. Right. We was always trying to step it up. We wasn't the best one in the arena at the time, and so I just thought that was a cool way to do it, that they could always have access to watch the right way, to watch how it's done. And there's 10,000 questions on there, and we let people send in videos. We'll take their runs on their videos. We let them send questions. We'll call them. We just, try to interact with them more and give them more, make it more available to, because, a lot of areas there's nobody around for them to watch. And as you know, it's the people out there that'll watch this, they'll understand when you start, you're lost.
Right.
And you start the wrong way, then you know what that's like. You start the wrong way, and what I see all the time is I'll go practice it for 6 months or a year. Then they decide they need help. Well, then they'll get some help, but then you're going to spend the next year trying to unlearn what you learned at the same time trying to learn something new. So,
and we as instructors spend 1 or 2 days trying to undo what you've done for 6 or 8 months. So I understand totally. Well, that's a good concept, and it's obviously gone well because you got a good group of guys, and just looks like, from what I've heard, I mean, I hadn't been involved with it, but from what I've heard, I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I know it's gaining momentum and gaining popularity.
One thing we did that we decided right from the start we was going to do is we didn't cut any corners on quality. So we spend a tremendous amount of money on the filming. I mean, it's the best filming, the best cameras you can use, and it's the slow motion on it's just absolutely incredible. So, and that's the difference is a lot of times if people can actually see it, you can sit there and watch somebody make a 5-second run 100 times. That's not going to do you any good. But if you watch that 5-second run that's broke down into 20 seconds, then you can see a lot of things in there that the eye just can't pick up. So, and we do a lot of that.
Well, and that's what Joe Beaver told me, that whenever he was doing the NFR commentary, the NFR just got done, and he told me, he said, well, my dad always told me, he said, people know what they're watching, tell them what they're seeing. And basically that's what y'all are doing with this, is you're breaking it down, and they know what they're watching, but you're telling them what they're seeing when they're watching it, so that they can understand it and kind of comprehend it in their mind. And so, great concept. And any other adventures in the future, or you just day by day, or fly by city pants, or what?
With the real estate and that keeps me pretty busy. And then obviously my kids are open now since they started. So I do a lot of schools, but not a tremendous amount, but quite a few schools and a lot of real estate. And I started traveling some, roping a little bit, but no aspirations of trying to
go back to the NFR.
No, I just watched it the other day, and I think 4-2 won the last hole. So I'm gonna leave that to them.
Now, what is Kyle going to college?
Cody's going to college. Kyle rides horses, shoes horses, and he ropes a lot. He's starting to. Both of them have come. I mean, they've been roping 3.5 years, 3.5, 4 years, and they came a long ways in a real short period of time.
Yeah, and they're doing good. Well, with one in college and the other one out there trying to rope and stuff, and probably trying to help him out a little bit, he could stand 2 or 3 more jobs if anybody's got any ideas for more jobs.
I'll go pass the hat around.
Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate you having it on, and look for TotalTeamRoping.com.
things I want to go over about ropes. The first thing is how to choose a rope. A lot of people don't even understand how to choose which rope they want. They go to a feed store or somewhere to pick out a rope, and they don't know what they're looking at. The first thing is, I like the softest rope or somewhere on the softer end. That doesn't mean buy soft. On the label it says soft. They make extra softs and they make super soft, which is an extra soft also. I only use extra soft and extra soft or super soft. The softer the rope, the more pliable they are, the easier the rope is to swing. Especially for a novice roper or somebody that hasn't been experienced roping very long, I would suggest a limberer rope. The second thing is, I always use cactus ropes. Cactus are dependable. They're always the same when you pull them out of the ties. They've always been good to me. I've used the 3 strands before. I've used the 4 strands. I go back and forth between the 2 depending on what the conditions are that I'm roping in. There are nylon ropes. There are poly blend ropes. Poly blends feel different in some temperatures. Nylons feel different in other temperatures. It's good to have a variation in your bag just so that depending on the situation or depending on the conditions, the weather conditions, you've got what's right for you. But cactus is by far the way to go.